Hello, I hope you're all well. It's me, Olivia. This video is going to cover a couple of days in a week of my little life of being a game developer and an artist. Currently pretty much full-time on those things, except for my part-time job, which is why this vlog isn't going to cover a full week. I'm actually about to go away for almost a month, which I'll talk about more later in this video. So this week was me trying to do as much as I could so that I wouldn't feel bad about going on such a long break. With that being said, I hope you enjoy this small glimpse into what life has been like for me lately. Before we get into the work stuff, I wanted to show off a recent change I made to my lovely home office. Now, keen viewers may remember that I used to have a couch in this room, but I recently decided that it was making the space feel too cramped. So I decided to put it on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm so glad I did it. This room feels so much nicer now, and in the couch's place, I have this bookshelf. So what I actually did was I hired one of those people who curate bookshelves for celebrities and influencers to make it look like I read a lot. Just kidding. I've had this for ages, and I've had all these books for ages. All this stuff was just in another room, and I just moved it into here. The most recent addition to my collection is this tenor figure from Fangamer. He's so cute, and I don't know where I want to display him yet, so I've just been keeping him in the packaging, which is fine because it's a really nice package. Whoops, that sounds wrong. I also recently got into Chainsaw Man, finally, and obviously Angel is my favorite character. I love him so much, and Andy got me this figure of him. And the Pikachu collection is getting a bit cramped, but it's looking good, it's looking healthy. I recently restuffed this Pikachu pillow that belonged to my brother way back when we were kids, but at some point in time I decided to claim it. Now it's here, so sorry Michael if you're watching this. We now finally have a permanent home for this CRT, which we've had for years and years and years. For a while it was just kind of floating between different rooms in our house, but now it's here and it looks so nice. And check out this GameCube storage box we found on Marketplace. It's so random. It is a Japanese product. You can actually run the cables out the back and store games in it. It kind of takes up a bit of space, as you can see, but it's really neat, and I like that it means my GameCube isn't going to get dusty. And of course, in one corner of the room, we've got a little pet paradise for Nene and Wham. They both love this room, and so it's really important that we have a space for them in here. And yeah, I always find them snoozing in here. It's so nice.
Nene, do you want to go for a walk? Do you want to go for a walk, Nene?
Okay, now on to work. So this was Monday morning, and I wanted to start the week with some quote-unquote fun work. I just made this little 3D image for my last video thumbnail and decided I wanted to make it into its own little illustration. I went through my photos and found one that I wanted to use as the background. The one I ended up using was one I took in Okinawa last year. The birds in the scene are meant to be pink galahs actually, which are Australian native birds, so it doesn't really make sense to have them here, but it looks cute, you know, pink and green is a great color combo. Then I changed the lighting in Blender to try and match the photo's lighting, and yeah, once I got the lighting looking how I wanted it to be in Blender, I brought the render into Photoshop and made a million little tweaks until it looked just right. I brought the finished picture onto my iPad and started messing around with adding some scribbly animations over the top. Just didn't really have like a clear idea, but wanted to add a little something extra instead of just a static image. And eventually I figured out something I liked. I even went back into Blender and slightly adjusted the render, like I gave Holly a different facial expression and moved her head slightly so that there would be like two different poses, two different renders. And I think they turned out cute. Here's the final result. hobby. For the afternoon, I had a big task ahead of me, but not an overly difficult one, which is the best combination if you ask me. So if you don't know, a while back I actually hired an assistant animator for the game, my friend Moth Pebbles, who's been helping me get a good portion of the character animations done, especially when it comes to the NPCs in the game. The week prior, I'd received a bunch of finished animations from her which were ready for me to set up in the game. Surf Club has a bunch of NPCs which you can interact with, have a little chat with, and their animations are all bespoke, so with a few exceptions, they're usually doing something unique in the environment depending on the scene. And having Pebbles work on this task with me has been so incredibly helpful. I'm very glad I can afford to pay a friend to help me out on this game, and she's very good at animating as well, so all in all, it's a great situation. Most of the time, the NPCs will have two animation states, an idle and a talking state. So Pebbles will make the animations, and then from there, I do a bunch of tasks in Unity to set it up. Let me give you a little rundown actually of what happens after I import the animations. So I put the characters on the overworld, make sure the animation's imported correctly, and then I work out how close the player can be before they can talk to them. I work out whether the NPCs will turn their heads towards her or not. And then when their dialogue is activated, I have to include in their script the trigger to change the animation, change the camera if need be, position the dialogue box where it would look best on the screen, and add any pauses or character expression changes. Yeah, fun stuff. Again, it's not a difficult task, but a time-consuming one. So that's what I spent the afternoon doing. So I went out for a bit in the evening, and then when I got home, I suddenly felt inspired to make some fan art for the game Big Walk, which was coming out the next day. So I took a small pivot from my more pressing work to quickly make this piece. I playtested this game a couple of times over the last few years, I think as far back as the COVID lockdowns in 2021. So yeah, it's really cool that it's out, and this art piece was really fun to do, especially with the characters being so simple and expressive. It's a nice change of pace from like just looking at the Surf Club art all the time for so long. For the background, I used a photo that I took in Wilson's prom a few years ago, which is actually the real-life inspiration for the game's environment, which is cool. It's a very beautiful place. I think they did a really good job at capturing its vibe in the game. Then I drew some scribbles over the top of the render in Procreate and called it a day. This was like just the render by itself. And here's some little scribbles on the top. Yeah. So I didn't finish that NPC task from the day before, so on Tuesday morning I got back into it, as well as making a few more little animations for some indoor scenes. And while you watch me do that, I'm just going to chat a little bit about how the game is going on a more personal level, I suppose, as I have a tendency to do. So after I got back from Portland in June, I had like a 6-week slump period where it felt like every day I was just really struggling to get out of bed and was doing the bare minimum every day. I wasn't making the big strides with the game that I was at the start of the year, and I think there's a couple of reasons for this. One, if you don't know, it is currently winter in Australia, and in Melbourne it gets extremely cold. And I don't mind winter, but there's no denying that it just makes the body literally move slower. Another thing that's been happening is There's been so much intense construction happening around my building for weeks, and the noise has actually been like zapping the energy out of me. And it hasn't been every single day, which has made it kind of unpredictable. Like, I'd start my day, I'd have a whole plan for it, and then as soon as I sat down at my desk, I would hear drilling, like literally right above my head. So I was like constantly feeling really just uncomfortable in my house, and my house is my favorite place in the world, and it's also where I work. So having these disruptions, it really upsets me, as I'm sure a lot of people can relate to. And even when there wasn't construction happening, I was just feeling constantly distracted. Like, not even in a, oh, my phone, my screen time is too high kind of way, but like, just like life admin stuff. I felt like I just couldn't find some peace for myself on a day-to-day or week basis. And it's one of those things where I ask myself, is it my autism or am I just being a princess? Because before my diagnosis, I spent my whole life suppressing any discomfort and berating myself for feeling it. And learning to actually pinpoint the source of pain is a skill that I've only started to get good at in the last few years. Anyway, I guess I just don't feel like I'm making much progress lately. And I am. It's just not as much as I want, I guess. And it's weird because truthfully, I never not want to work on the game. I actually still have so much fun making it, which from what I've heard from talking to other people is somewhat unusual for being this far into development, 6 years we're coming up to. But yeah, I still have fun making it. I guess it truly is a passion project. So the issue is not that I don't want to work on it. It's that I get stuck in these periods of feeling like there's always something taking me away from it. There's always something more pressing. There's always something urgent. And when I feel constantly interrupted from the game, that's what makes me feel depressed about it. Not the fact that it's taking so long. And the reality is there's always going to be so many things to juggle at all times because that's just what life is all about. But I also need to be better at carving out time for myself to work on my game and my art uninterrupted. And I've been getting better at this, which has helped me get out of this funk that I've been in. I bought this whiteboard calendar that I can see when I'm sitting at my desk, and I put everything on it, even things like hanging out with friends or phone calls. So if I have a day that's free, like completely blank, I can visibly see it and I know that I can let my guard down. I can put my phone on mute without anything bad happening and just be left completely alone. And to be honest, those are my most favorite days of all time. Okay, now I'm going to tell you about my trip coming up that I mentioned earlier in the video. So I'm going back to America to go to Pokemon Worlds. Some of you may know, but my husband Andy actually plays the Pokemon video game competitively, and he was able to qualify for the World Championship this year. So everyone please say congratulations to Andy and wish him luck. So I'm gonna go along as well. We had a really fun time together when we went to the Hawaii Worlds in 2024, and it's in San Francisco this year, which is a city I know quite well, so I'm keen to get amongst it. My game dev friends will be happy to know that there's apparently going to be a Pikachu parade at Yerba Buena. If you know, you know. So anyway, what I'm doing here is making some stickers that I can hand out at the event, just as a fun way to make friends and connections. One of them is a Fat Pikachu sticker design, naturally, and the other is a sticker sheet of the top competitive Pokemon right now. So hopefully they turn out nice once they're printed.
just try and complete these animations like before I get back. I mean, it's not the end of the world if they're not completed before then, but yeah. Okay.
On Wednesday, I got a new sketchbook in the mail and had a nice little time decorating the cover. This is going to be the one that I'll take on my trip. With my current one, it's so close to being done. There's maybe like 5 pages left, so I didn't want to bring it in case I finish it immediately and then don't have a sketchbook for the trip. That would be awful. So I got this one back on the square size again. It's just so nice for traveling. And this will be my 3rd Talon sketchbook. I love this brand so much. So what I'm doing now is I wanted to make some progress with one of the bigger cutscenes in the game, which I've just been chipping away at. It's kind of like an important one story-wise, so I haven't been rushing it. I've been working on it a bit and then doing some other tasks and then coming back to it. I'm not going to show it too much here because I want you to be able to experience it somewhat blind in the game. But I just want to show that what I do when I'm working on a long scene in Unity, rude Nene, instead of pressing play and stop every time I see a change needed, I'll screen record this scene and then use that as a reference so that I can scrub through the footage and find the changes needed and make them, instead of having to stop and start a cutscene in Engine a billion times. In general, I think recording your game footage is really handy. It can help you find issues that you might not have noticed.
Hey, Wham! Nene, lie down. Roll over. Good boy. Wave! Wave! Wave, Nene. Hello, hello. Good boy.
And the last surf club task I got done for the week was taking one of the NPCs in the game and giving her a design for when she appears in the past sections of the game. I may have explained this already, but because the game is set across 2 different time periods, all of the characters have 2 different designs. And this character was one of the last ones that still needed a past design. This character's name is Chris, and she runs the gift shop in town. It's one of those classic coastal town gift shops that sells crystals and yoga mats, new age kind of stuff. So that's what her look and name are inspired by. I actually took her name from Chris from Pokemon Crystal, but I realized that most people are going to think of Chris from Deltarune. But you know, that's fine. I like both characters very much. So this is the past design I came up with. She's got different hair and a different dress, so a bit elaborate. Sometimes a character's past design will just have a few very minor tweaks, but this one, you know, there's a bit more going on. But it looks good, I think. Once I was done, I passed her on to Pebbles to animate for me. And then I was out of time for the week. It was Wednesday night and I had my other job and other things to do for the rest of the week. So that's where I'm gonna leave you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this vlog and this new style of me just doing a voiceover over the clips. Let me know if you have any questions about any of the things you saw in this video. And ooh, I'm gonna try and farm engagement. Tell me if you're playing any games at the moment. As you saw, I'm playing Pokemon Sapphire at the moment. Well, I will be once I get my shiny startup. But yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and I'll chat with you again soon. Bye.